So we have different ways that you can take classes with us. We do have fully online courses now. So if you are interested in what we call our post-bac or post-baccalaureate degree, that just means that you already have a bachelor's degree and you're looking to do one of our post-baccalaureate certificates. Those are 30 credits and those are now offered 100% online. We also have on-campus classes. So we have traditional on-campus courses in our studios, our fabulous studios. We have 3 design labs. We also have a really fun printing room with like a nice like cutting table and great murals for you guys to do production work. And then we also have our kind of our think tank creative space to work outside of class. And then we have something new that's called our compound classroom. And this is something Rebecca and I have been working on, and this is combining kind of the best of online classes with the best of in-person classes. So if you take a CEL class, it stands for Creative Engaged Learning Lab, and it's a special lab that these are held in. So if you take a CEL class, you'll be joined either, if you're taking it online, you'll be joined in person by students at the same time. So we'll be meeting at specific times synchronously. Or if you take the class on ground, you'll also be taking the class with people online and you can see each other and we can work together. So it's a brand new model that we developed that we're super excited about. And then we also have classes during the day like a traditional college would. We also have nighttime courses start at 6 p.m. and they go till about 8:40. And then we also have Saturday mornings, for those of you early birds, weekend classes that are from 9 until about 11:40. So there's all these different ways that you can take classes depending on your work-life balance, that sort of thing. So when we talk about online learning, you know, we have a very robust system in place that allows you to have access to everything that you're going to need. So we have materials, lecture notes, assignments posted. We have discussion boards. We also provide, if you guys have heard of lynda.com. It was a great platform that was recently purchased by LinkedIn. So now it's called LinkedIn Learning, but you may have been familiar with lynda.com in the past. Same thing. LinkedIn has purchased it. So we have free LinkedIn Learning accounts for all of our students. So we have a ton of great instructional materials, videos, really, really well done, well-produced videos that we can also load to our online learning environment to help you sort of practice those skills, dig a little deeper, learn a little bit more outside of our class time. Also, we have face-to-face meetings very frequently for our online classes. So unlike other programs that may have online courses, in our digital design programs, we meet every week or every other week face-to-face all together. We feel like that's very important. If you are taking that CEL class that we talked about, it does meet every single week at specified times. So that way we can, once again, kind of emulate that in-person experience of the critique, etc. So when we are talking about online learning, we have, you know, about 1,300 students who've completed over 10,000, almost 11,000 hours of coursework. We have 8 different master's degrees, 11 graduate certificates, 4 post-bac certificates, and 320 courses that have all been developed online. So we really have this down to a T. If you've experienced online learning at other universities or in other cases, I can tell you that what we're doing here in our program is super unique. So don't let that turn you off. Once again, we also have our on-ground in-person courses as well. This summer we are exclusively online because of everything that's going on. And then in the fall, we're sort of making decisions about what that's going to look like. But we just want to let you know on the slide that we really are experts at what we're doing. So let's talk a little bit about digital design, which is why you're here. So digital design, our program is really built to bridge that gap between art and technology, right? So we have 3 different tracks. And within those tracks, and we'll get to those in just a minute here, we really are looking at making you problem solvers, right? Using your creativity to solve different problems, whether they're in 3D for like packaging, whether they're in 2D for something like logo design or digital illustrations, or in the 3D space virtually, like our gaming programs and Maya, Unreal Engine, etc. So our program really is preparing you for building that portfolio that you're going to need after graduation. All of our courses, all the projects are tailored to be portfolio pieces. And then by the end of your time with us, you have this really amazing portfolio to go out and get a job. So when we're looking at your academic experience within this program, there are two different ways that you can earn a degree within digital design. The first is a Bachelor of Arts. And then within that Bachelor of Arts, it is 120 credit hours total. That's standard across the US for an undergraduate education. So it's 120 credits. 42 of those credits are in the major. So you'll be taking 42 credits of design courses alone, which is great. It's a lot of credits. That's a lot higher than some other schools, but we want to make sure you have a very robust and deep experience. So you'll see at some other institutions, you're only taking like 30 hours of design classes, and then everything else are your Brittany, what's the word I'm looking here for? Your core classes, like your math, sciences, humanities. Okay, yeah. And so, what's the word? But we really here are focused on making sure not only do you get your humanities, Englishes, etc., but you're also getting 42 instead of your traditional 30. You're getting 42 credits in design, which is super important. That means you have more classes you're able to take within your design curriculum. We also have our post-baccalaureate certificates, as I was talking about earlier, your post-bacs. So these are 100% online, or you can take them 100% on ground, or you can do a mashup of both. So if you're in the area and you want to take some courses on ground and you want to take some of them online, you have that option. So the way our post-bac certificates work is, once again, you will pick a track, which we're going to look at in a sec, and then those are made up of 30 credit hours. So those are 10 classes, and it's exclusively just in design. So you're not taking your core classes in your humanities, English, etc. You already have a bachelor's degree. This is really digging deep into 10 courses within your area of concentration. Okay, so we talked a little bit about this, but just to skim, your post-bac, we just get a lot of questions on this. So the post-bac is a certificate. It's a professional certificate. It's not a graduate degree. We do get that question a lot. This is a post-bac degree. So you are getting that professional certificate, 10 courses, 30 credit hours in the track of your choice. We also get a lot of questions, if I want to take some design classes and some interactive classes, some web design, etc. We can definitely customize that, but just think at the end of the day, it's 10 courses. That's kind of how and Brittany and I work really closely with you to make sure that we determine what courses are best based on your career goals after you finish. Okay, so let's talk about the tracks a little bit. So for our graphic design track, you're going to be looking at things for careers in things like branding, print design, poster design, book design, typography, publication. We're also preparing you for front-end design for web, interactive, UX, UI, as well as 3D packaging. Most of our students who pursue the graphic design track either as a bachelor's, sometimes go on to do their MFA or their master's. Some of them go into the design fields, working for like in-house brands doing design work, whether that's print collateral, signage, event materials, etc., or they start their own companies. We do have a class called Business of Design that teaches you how to do that, how to kind of launch your own freelance or own company. So we have a lot of students that do that as well. The courses within this track, generally, there's a lot more, but generally they include things like our foundations class that everybody takes, our digital illustration and imaging classes, which do a deep dive into Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, Lightroom, etc., that really prepare you for those skills you're going to need after graduation and expect in the workforce. Also typography. Typography is so important in our program. It's one of those differentiators that will set your work apart from others in your portfolio that you may not expect. But I can tell you, when I'm looking at people's portfolios, I look at their type first. And I know that if they have really great typography, that they have had training and that they probably are doing other things really well too. History of graphic design, definitely a requirement. We also get into foundations of interactive. Like I said, we are introducing you to the digital space. Now, beyond the 42 credits that are required of the bachelor's, you also have elective credits. So if you wanted to do electives within the interactive track, or you could do a minor in the interactive track if you're doing the graphic design track, or vice versa. Also digital page layout, which gets into InDesign, Adobe InDesign, looking at multiple pages for publication, etc. And then when you get into your design studio courses, we also have letterpress that's available and more. Okay, so let's talk about our interactive design track. So our interactive design track really focuses on UX and UI. So we've heard this a lot. What does that mean? So UX means user experience. UI means user interface. So user experience is how we interact, the study of how we interact with the world around us. And here it's talking about the digital world, right? So we look at the research, how to determine and predict what people will need to do and what they want to do with our apps and our websites. Also, then that data will then inform our interface design. How do we design now that we know what they want and what they expect? And so we do that through courses such as typography, of course, that foundations course again. We have a UX studio course. Interactive studios, you have 1 and 2. We also have digital narrative and motion. So you'll learn in our motion classes how to use After Effects. We have 2 different motion classes. So you'll learn how to animate vector graphics, typography, etc. It's a really, really cool class. And then also our digital narrative classes, which teach you how to use Adobe Premiere and then marry that with After Effects to create like short little video clips that then apply to web or apps. And many, many other classes within that concentration as well. This is just a quick little smattering. And then lastly, we have our game art and animation track. This is a really, really amazing track. All of our faculty who are teaching in this track are working designers. I mean, that goes for all of our tracks, but this one in particular, it's really interesting to see how our working game artists then bring that into the classroom. So things that you'll be doing in here, we talk about, we kind of have 3 areas that we're focusing on. You notice that we're really focusing on art and animation from the title of this track, right? So we're really looking at the art side of things. So concept art, we have a fine art fundamentals course that is specific for our students here on this track. It's not your traditional fine art course that you would take in a different college or a different school. This is specifically geared for skills that you will need in the gaming track. So we have our fine art fundamentals track. So if you're not the best illustrator or great in color theory, etc., we do teach that as it applies to gaming. We also get into concept art. Then we get into taking that art and those sketches into Photoshop and fleshing out characters. Then we take that and we bring it into modeling. So we have modeling courses, as you see here, where in the upper right corner, this is ZBrush. This image is in ZBrush being used to take someone's sketch and bring it and physically model it like a lump of clay 3-dimensionally to make these amazing characters, and then take that character into other software like Maya, etc., to add effects, to animate it, bringing it into our engines. Unreal Engine is what we're using. We also use Unity as well, but Unreal is the one that we've really focused on here. If you are in the area and you came to our Epic Games event last year, we had 2 of the lead animators from Epic come into town. It was pretty amazing. It kind of shows what they do. So it's a really, really great track. Gives you a deep dive into our art, animation, and modeling. So if you're interested in more of like gameplay and 2D animation, we're not doing a lot of that, but we really are focusing on art, modeling, 3D, obviously, and then the animation side of things. So just talking about some of our faculty, I know I mentioned that a moment ago, but like I said, most of our faculty are, well, I should say all of our faculty are working in their fields and they are teaching their specific areas of expertise. So myself, you know, I'm a designer. I have been designing, I've had my own agency for almost 18 years, a creative agency. And so everything that I do in the agency and I see in the real world, I'm bringing that knowledge into the classroom and into the program to inform the classes, etc. Josh Turtberg, he is the lead animator for In Exile Entertainment. They were recently purchased by Microsoft, kind of a big deal. And so he teaches all of our animation classes and some of our art classes, like our concept art classes. And then we have Peter, who is amazing. He is a motion designer. He teaches our Motion 1 and Motion 2 classes, and his work is just phenomenal. You should look him up on our faculty page. We put his reel up there. It's pretty amazing to see the work he's doing. And then we have Samantha Barnes, who is our interactive faculty. She teaches a lot of our interactive courses, our web design courses, app design courses, that sort of thing. We also have specialty courses such as copywriting. So we hear feedback from our students all the time. We ask for feedback, and you have a lower level and an upper level review. We're going to get into that in a minute. But we always ask, like, what type of classes do you want? What are you looking for that we could build and add for you? And what we heard was that students were interested in copywriting. So we hired John Carr. He's amazing. And he teaches this exclusively online, and he has 2 copywriting studios now, and students are just loving it. So he's a great asset to our team. Also, like I mentioned earlier, Jessica Peterson, she owns the Southern Letterpress here in New Orleans, and she teaches letterpress. So it's off-site, you go off of our campus, and so she teaches letterpress as it applies to graphic design. So it's really fun to actually see when you're taking your typography classes, how that parlays into hand setting type and rolling, I mean, the whole 9 yards. It's so much fun. Our students love those courses. And then, of course, we have Professor Rebecca Carr, who's on the call with us today. Hey, Rebecca. So Rebecca teaches pretty much everything in our program. She can teach almost anything. She has a specialty in typography, print design. Her students' work wins awards, multiple awards every single year, and she's such an asset to the team. Also, Aisha Champagne, she actually works for Tulane. She is a senior graphic designer at Tulane, and she teaches some of our foundational courses as well as our digital page layout courses. Okay, so beyond the classroom, it's really important in this industry or in these 3 tracks that you interact and engage with the community. As you all probably know, our industry is very social. It's about who you know, what companies, you know, specific fit that you need, and knowing people, networking is very, very important. We typically every semester, every fall, we bring in a big name speaker, a national or international speaker to come and talk to you. We brought in last year was our Epic Games talk. The year before that, we brought in Jessica Hish. And the year before that, we brought in James Victori. So if you don't know those people, you should look them up. And they come in and do big talks. And then every spring, we do something a little bit smaller where we collaborate maybe with the AIGA. We also have our Addy Awards every year with the American Advertising Federation. We have, like I said, annual designer talks. And we bring in like Tyler Barnes, who's this amazing branding designer, came in this semester, actually, earlier this semester, and did a talk. So we're constantly bringing people into the classroom. If you're online, we're streaming this for you. So even if you're not able to come in person and you're taking courses online, you're still able to participate. So student support and success. Our academic advisors, such as Brittany, does everybody see Brittany up there at the top? Our academic advisors are, you know, our rock stars of the program. They help you stay on track. Brittany can pretty much answer anything you need to know regarding Tulane, what classes you should take, where you are in the program, when you're graduating. She is already 4 steps ahead of you, okay, trust me, and all of us. She's amazing. She also helps keep you on track in terms of your reviews. So you have 2 reviews through your program while you're with us, if you're in the bachelor's and if you're taking the postbac. You have your lower level review, which happens after block 2. And Brittany will help make sure that you're ready for that. And she reminds you and reminds you and reminds you again. And basically what that is, it's a portfolio, a PDF portfolio of all the work you've created in all your classes within your first 2 blocks. If you've gone to our website, you'll notice that all of our classes are organized in blocks. So that way you always know what to take next, what can be taken together, in what order. It's super duper easy. So Brittany will help you say, you know, you need to take this English class, a sociology class, etc., and you need to take a couple of design classes. Then you'll work with both of us to determine like which classes are a best fit for you. And so when you get to that lower level review, you're showing all the work just from your design classes up to that point. And what we're doing is we're reviewing it and saying, you know what, Leslie sure is making great progress. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. Sure is making great progress through the program. She's ready to move forward. If, let's say, you know, Joe Schmo over here, typography is still not great. His images are pixelated. We're not sure what's going on. We're not seeing a progression. That's what we're looking for. is the student getting better? Okay, are they progressing? So if we see that you're not progressing and you just need more help or more practice, we'll recommend additional electives for you to take to kind of practice your skills in those areas, or we might let you retake a class and count it again for credit, just to kind of help you polish up those skills before we're allowing you to move on. So once you pass the lower level review, then you take 2 more blocks, and after block 4, you go up for what's called your upper level review. And this is a presentation of your 12 favorite best works to all the faculty. And this can be done if you're virtually away from us taking classes online. It can be done via Zoom, or if you're in person, it's done in person. And or if we're all, sheltering in place, it's all done online like semester. And you present your work to us. We ask you questions. We make sure that you're ready to move on to your senior level last 2 blocks of courses. And once again, if you're not ready, we recommend things for you to take. If you are ready, we recommend what you need to take your last 2 semesters with us. So the whole purpose of these reviews, and like I said, we started this whole conversation with talking about Brittany, is that Brittany is very good about making sure you know when those reviews should happen, what should be in those reviews, so that way you're very prepared. And it's, talking about student support and success, we want to make sure you're successful, not only in this program, but after you graduate, we want to make sure you're ready to go out into the workforce. So it's our jobs to say, time out, you need more practice on this, right? So that's the purpose of the reviews, to make sure you're ready, to make sure you're successful, and to make sure that you're, everybody that we're graduating is at a certain level, that way your degree means even more. We also have expert faculty we just talked about with industry experience. We also have a full-time career advisor, Cynthia Washington, who can help you at any time find internships, give you job advice, help you figure out like where to post your work, that sort of thing. And then also we have a huge network of our graduates, of our current students, because we have such an interesting mix of students, whether they're traditional, like I said, right out of high school students, or whether they're non-traditional 20, 30, 40-year-old students who might have worked for these amazing companies and now have come back just to get another degree. It's a really beautiful mix of people in these courses, and it actually pushes everyone and makes you better. So it's a really, really great program. Okay. So all that being said, if you're interested in moving forward, applying is super easy. It's really just 4 things. You have to complete the online application, sopa.tulane.edu. You'll see the big button that says apply. If you need help with that, let us know. There is a $40 application fee, but because you joined us today, we are waiving that fee for you. So when you start to apply, what's wrong with my voice today? Sorry, guys. When you start to apply and you get to that point, let us know. We will waive that fee for you. You also have to upload a clear photo ID. So this could be like a military ID, like a current one, or a current driver's license, passport, etc. And then we do need your transcripts in order to be fully admitted. So you are able to upload unofficial transcripts. Brittany, stop me if I'm wrong, but you are able to upload unofficial transcripts in order to be admitted. But we have to have your official transcripts, whether it's from your high school or your previous colleges, before you're able to register, okay? So it's really important that that's kind of the thing that takes the longest. So if you're interested in applying, now would be the time to do it for summer. We have summer enrollments open right now. We have spots left in our classes. So if you're interested in enrolling, I'd recommend doing that and applying ASAP. Then we can start talking to you about what classes to take to make sure you get a jump start on the fall. I think on the next slide, it shows the due dates for everything. Yeah, so these are the deadlines for all the different applications coming up. So we got May 15th, which is like a couple of weeks away. So if you're interested, now's the time. Fall is August 15th and spring is January 1. And so, like I said, if you're interested in applying, we encourage you, of course, we would love to have you, please do so. And when you get to that spot where you need to add your application, pay your application fee, just let us know, ping myself or one of us on this email and on this call, and we will waive that fee for you. This kind of shows you a little bit about financial aid and tuition. We get these questions a lot. So what does it cost, right? That makes sense. So it's $476 per credit. So our design classes are 3 credit hours. Most classes are 3 credit hours. There's a couple that are 1 or 2 credits, but most are 3 credit hours. So you can just take 476 times 3, and that's how much it would cost per class. you are able to take out financial aid for these courses. So if you're not familiar with the way financial aid works, you fill out something called a FAFSA, F-A-F-S-A. We do have financial aid counselors here at Tulane who can definitely help you through that process. I know I took out financial aid all through my schooling, undergrad and graduate, so I know what it's like, and I would not have been able to go to school without it, right? But we always say, you know, I always say, I should say, that I would never let money hold back myself from getting an education. So if that's something that you need to do and you need help with it, please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction. There are federal loans, there are federal grants that are available, and then of course we have a 20% discount for active duty military, veterans, teachers, and first responders. So if you fall into any of those categories, we'll offer you a 20% discount for your tuition. And then we have this great initiative called Credits for Prior Learning. So you could perhaps fall into this. This is for undergraduate and graduate only. This is not for the post-bacs. So if, for example, you have worked let's say in marketing or in public relations or an unrelated, I mean, a related but not a specific field like design or interactive or gaming, but you've done things that can show proficiency in some of the courses. Like let's say you know Illustrator like the back of your hand because you used it in your marketing position, right? You basically take this course, it's a CALE course, and you would submit a portfolio and we will assess that portfolio. And if we feel like it meets the learning outcomes and objectives, et cetera, of the course, you can actually get credit for that class. So for the undergraduate degree, you can earn up to 24 credits, which is pretty amazing considering you only need 42. That's awesome. So this is my email address and phone number here. Also, I'm going to put my cell in the chat if you ever have additional questions that you may need, or just, you know, want to bounce some ideas off of me in terms of credits for prior learning or where you are now and that sort of thing. Brittany's email is also in the chat. If you need any additional, you know, feedback or help from her as well. We can take transfer credits. That is a question that we get a lot. So if you're coming, you know, you have your bachelor's from another institution, you want to get a second bachelor's, we can take up to 60 credits if they transfer, right? So we have to look at everything, but we can take up to 60 credits as a transfer from another institution. And, you know, once again, we are able to tailor the courses in the post-bac degrees based on your goals. So typically the way this works is you'll go through the application process. Once you get admitted, you will sit down with Brittany and I, and we will talk you through kind of what are your goals, what classes do you need to meet those goals, and kind of formulate, you know, what the plan is for you. So yeah, so if you are taking courses, all of our courses do have, you know, fees, lab fees that are associated with that. So I think Leslie has a question about non-tuition fees. Yes, so there are definitely tuition fees that are, you know, that are collected, even if you are using a tuition waiver. So if anybody else on this program is using the tuition waiver, if you're an employee at the university, the tuition waiver does not cover those fees. Yeah, great. Are there any other questions? Feel free to put them. Okay, let's see. There additional financial aid for post-bac. I have a bachelor's degree already. I was debating. Yeah, so I do believe, Brittany, correct me if I'm wrong, there is financial aid available, student loans for post-bac. Yes, so once you create, yes, exactly. So once you complete your FAFSA, also Ashton, I can connect you, Ashton Martin. Is that your real name? Like Aston Martin? That is impressive. Okay. Is that your real name? I love it. And my mom did that on purpose. I know. I love your mom. I feel like we would be BFFs. Okay. I love it. I'm never going to forget you. Okay. So, yes. So yes. So what was I forgot your question. I'm going to have to go back. Hold on a second. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so we do have some people who get a second bachelor's degree, and there's a couple of reasons to do that. People do that, Ashton. The first is they want to take more classes, right? So we have some students coming from like they were a professional chef, they went to culinary school, or we have people who are educators teaching in K through 12, and they're like, man, I want more. I don't just want the post-bac, I want to get a second bachelor's. So we have a ton of people who do that. Yes, you can use financial aid again for a second bachelor's. Yes, you can take out loans. Post-bac, when you're doing that, you can take out loans. Some of the grants, et cetera, are not available for the post-bac, but you can take out loans for the post-bac. So definitely, like Brittany said, fill out that FAFSA form. That will have all the information you need. And Ashton, if you want to email me after this, I can connect you to Kinley Fight, who can sort of give you more insight and then connect you to the right financial aid person. So it's just Amanda Garcia at tulane.edu. Email me real quick, and then I'll connect you to the right people to answer that specifically. Okay, so Ella has a question. Okay, do we accept UConn ECE? It's graphic design class, college level credit. Okay, that's a great question. Brittany, do you know the answer to that?
I do not. It would kind of depend. We would need to look at the syllabus if you have one, and we could kind of determine from there. I'm not sure that SOAP has done a lot of credit acceptance in terms of like AP scores and things like that, but we can definitely look into how we would do that.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And I know a reason I'm thinking we do, don't hold me to that, but I think, Ella, I think we do because we had a student coming from the Satellite Center here in Marrero, and they were taking a class and they asked if it could count, and we kind of went through a process to help them do that. So I do think we can do it. So Ella, if you wouldn't mind emailing me that as well, so Amanda Garcia at Tulane, I will look into that. I'll get with Ileana Kowalski, who is our academic affairs dean, and she can give me the exact answer, and then I'll get it to you and we'll figure out the best process. What school are you at, Ella? I'd like to know. Put that in the chat for me.
Hi.
Okay, so where are you? Oh yeah, hey, I forgot we can see you guys.
I go to Fairfield Ludlow High School in Connecticut.
Oh, awesome. How did you hear about the program?
I was like looking into Tulane, and like I didn't really see like a graphic design like in like the main area, and so like I like explored and I found it.
That's awesome. Well, fingers crossed, we're going up in the fall. Send us good vibes. We're going up in the fall to get our program because it's such a new program. It's just only our second year. And so we're going up to get it approved for all Newcomb Tulane students available in the fall. So if that happens and you're starting your senior year, you're going to be good. You're not going to have to worry about anything. So you can still go through Newcomb Tulane College and be able to major in the program. So
like
fingers
double major, you think?
Yeah, you can do a what is it called, Brittany? Coordinate major. Yeah, you can do a coordinate major where you can double major in something else and digital design. Yes, you can do that right now. Yeah, but we're hoping that Newcomb Tulane approves us because we have an amazing program and we have a ton of Newcomb Tulane students who have taken it before and love it. And so we'll keep you posted. But yeah, no, it's good to hear from you. But yeah, I'll find out. Send me that info and I would love to find out for you if we can do that. Let's see. Okay, so Brittany put a message here about the tuition waiver. Awesome. Let's see. So Denise, just to follow up on that, what Brittany said, so the way that the process typically works is if you are an employee of Tulane or have a spouse that's an employee of Tulane, there are certain courses that you can take on that tuition waiver. Is that what you're asking about? Just want to make sure. You can put your video on or you can just message us. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, yes, I actually I just sent her the link or really how to find. So for employee tuition waivers for Tulane, you do have to submit it every semester. I know for summer and fall, the waiver won't be open until tomorrow is what I was told. So it should be open so that you can submit for both summer and fall. And then once you're approved from that, you'll be able to register for classes, and then AR will just come in and wipe the balance at the end of it, as long as the courses that you are enrolling in are covered by the tuition waiver.
Awesome. Very cool. One other quick thing, we have our big fall kickoff event, ending, in-person things happening this fall. And so it's August 28th. So if you're going to be joining us this fall, you will be coming to it, I hope. And it's a huge design thinking challenge that we do every year. And it's with all majors, all students, and we have prizes, we have a ton of food. It's a lot of fun. And it kind of introduces you to all the faculty and the students. And once again, if you're virtual, if you're taking classes online, we'll figure out a way to make it work for you. So that's coming up this fall to look forward to. Also, a year from now, when Ella will be joining us, we're bringing in Chip Kidd. You may know Chip Kidd. He was a designer for Jurassic Park. So he's the one that did all like the Jurassic Park stuff. That's kind of the best way to visualize who Chip Kidd is. So he was coming this fall, but we pushed him back a year just to make sure it was totally safe and we could get everybody there. So he'll be coming fall of 2021 to talk about his work and his current work with book jacket design. And so stay tuned for that. Is there anything else, Rebecca? You want to, Brittany, anything else to add? Okay, awesome. Well, great. Well, it was so good. Okay, Ella, yes. So we look at portfolios. Yeah. So yes, we would love to see your portfolio. The reason we want to see your portfolio, no matter where, what phase you're in your career, is we can help determine which classes you can take, right? So for example, if we see your portfolio and you have had great classes in high school or in your professional field, and we can say, you know what, you've got Adobe Illustrator down. Instead of taking Adobe Illustrator, we're gonna put another class in that place. So we're not necessarily like giving you credit for that Adobe Illustrator class, we're just allowing you to take another amazing elective or another course in place of that Illustrator course. So if you have your portfolio together, that's one way that we can help substitute some classes and get you more of those really fun elective classes later on, depending on what you've done in your portfolio. Yeah, awesome. Okay, Aston Martin, it's good to meet you. Denise, Sabrina, Kayla, Ella, Leslie Ann, it's good to see you guys. Please reach out if you need anything. You'll be getting a follow-up email after this, but like I said, please email me if you have any questions, and we would be happy to answer them. All right, no problem. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
See you later.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.